Texas Tech recently hosted a special canine celebrity who made a special stop in the hub city after the efforts of thousands of Red Raiders. MCTV's Kylie Phillips has all the details on why Tech's Hospitality Services was very happy to welcome a famous furry ambassador to campus.
A series of Red Raider traditions on last week's calendar are also a sign that the spring semester is nearing an end. Find out how hundreds of Red Raiders took part in an event and received an important symbol of the university that they can wear proudly for years to come.
And two members of the Texas Tech basketball team are officially coming back, putting many Red Raider fans at ease following another big season. Find out who is heading back and why another decision helped them decide to keep wearing the red and black.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Reese Griffin.
And I'm Elene Khajishvili. It may be surprising, but celebrities from Hollywood to the stage to the network news make stops on the Texas Tech campus throughout the year, including yesterday.
But unlike your standard actor, Wednesday's visitor was a bit more furry and a lot more cute than any average human. And he happens to know a secret that has made him one of the most famous animals in the country. MCTV's Kylie Phillips stopped by the sub courtyard for a special meet and greet.
You've seen him in the kitchen, you've seen him at a barbecue.
Dude, I like this new wild side.
You don't think UFOs?
You've seen him on the farm.
Imagine that beautiful being possibility.
And you've even seen him with celebrities.
Too much?
But have you ever seen him on campus?
Let's spill the beans.
Texas Tech is welcoming a celebrity guest here on campus today as my friend Duke right here attends college.
Duke the dog, famous for his many appearances in Bush's Best Beans commercials, stopped by the sub yesterday morning. The famous canine posed for pictures of students who also walked away with some Bush's swag to remember the occasion. But how did one of the most well-known golden retrievers on television end up in Raiderland?
Bush's Baked Beans is sending Duke to college, and we want him right here at Texas Tech.
In the fall, Texas Tech Hospitality Services competed in the Duke Goes to College Instagram contest. Throughout the month of October, Bush's themed post showed up on the Eat at Texas Tech Instagram account, and students were encouraged to like and share for the chance to win the grand prize, a visit by the one and only Duke.
Roll that beautiful bean footage!
And then in November, it was official. Texas Tech won and Duke was headed for the hub city. Duke showed up at 11 a.m. on Wednesday without his co-star and Bush's best owner, Jay Bush, but that gave him plenty of time to make new friends with the long line of Red Raiders anxious to meet the famous pup. If you missed your opportunity to see Duke in person, you're sure to see him again soon on your TV or online, helping to spread the secret family recipe that made him and Bush's best a household name. For MCTV, I'm Kylie Phillips.
Texas Tech's Hospitality Services hosts special events like Duke's visit here at Texas Tech during each semester. To keep up with special menus, holiday treats, and other special appearances here on campus, use the handle Eat at Texas Tech on Facebook, Instagram, and X.
Speaking of food, an off-campus business recently hosted a new event to showcase a new venue and some of the freshest items Lubbock has to offer. Adelpho's Cellars hosted the second ever Fresh Picked Tuesdays Farmer Market on Tuesday. The winery is one of the newest businesses in Lubbock, featuring a visitor center, event space, a tasting room, and a large outdoor patio. Tuesday's Farmers Market took place on the patio and featured multiple vendors offering handmade and locally grown items. This week's market featured everything from herbs and vegetables to fresh-made bread to coffee, along with crafts and clothing. Attendees could browse the market, and they were also encouraged to grab a glass and choose from one of the several local varieties of wine bottled by Adelpho's Cellars. The Fresh Pick Tuesdays Farmers Market was organized by Mo Productions, and the event is planned to take place every Tuesday through April. If you would like more information on the Farmers Market along with information on other events hosted by Mo Productions, just visit their website at mo-markets.com.
The spring 2025 commencement ceremonies are less than a month and a half away. Many seniors are working on getting things in order before finishing their college career. And last week, a series of events allowed Red Raiders to check out at least one thing off the list. On Friday, the Texas Tech Alumni Association hosted the Spring 2025 Ringing Over the Rings event at the Administration Building. Students along with family and friends gathered on the east side under the bell tower at 12:30 p.m. Boxes containing official Texas Tech class rings were brought out as well, followed by a short presentation and the ringing of the victory bells. All of the rings were then packed up to be taken to the Texas Tech ring ceremony that took place over the weekend. Kurt Langford, the president and CEO of the TTU Alumni Association, says Friday's ceremony honors students in the same way that Texas Tech teams receive recognition after a win.
The ringing of the bells, we've been ringing the bells for every victory since 1936, when the class of 36 put those bells up there. There's a 600 and a 300-pound bell, and they've been ringing for all these victories all these years. But when a student earns the right to wear their Tech ring, that's an academic victory.
Not all of this spring's recipients showed up to Friday's ringing over the rings, but any student who attended was allowed to go up into the East Bell Tower and see the historic victory bells in person. And then on Sunday afternoon, anyone receiving a class ring this semester was invited to be a part of the ring ceremony at the USA. During the event, members of the TTU Alumni Association, along with university administrators, spoke to the students about the symbolic importance of the ring and how it connects them to the university. Each student was presented with their ring by President Lawrence Skubanek and then listened to the remarks from Alumna and Communication Studies Adjunct Professor Melissa Hancock. The event concluded as students put on their rings for the first time and joined in a singing of the Matador song.
Students leaving the United Supermarkets Arena after Sunday's ring ceremony faced a slight chill as temperatures only reached the mid-50s. But since then, it's been a beautiful week here on the Texas Tech campus.
After weeks of weather shifting between seasons, it seems like spring weather conditions have finally settled in across the South Plains. So will the current trend continue? Chief Weather Specialist Elisabeth Herring has the details on what to expect this weekend in today's MCTV forecast. Elizabeth?
Well, a gorgeous afternoon here at Texas Tech. It is a little bit breezy outside. You can see some of those trees moving on our live tower cam, but nice clear sunny skies and pretty warm today, highs in the mid 80s. And coming up this weekend is going to be quite the contrast from last weekend. Last weekend we had very cold temperatures, we had snow flurries and some precipitation throughout the area. This weekend, completely different story, warm temperatures, and it's going to be very dry. Unfortunately, this is not going to help our situation with our drought across the South Plains. Last week's rain did not make much of an impact on our drought monitor. Lubbock still split in between moderate and severely dry. Northern South Plains area is abnormally dry. So hopefully we see some rain coming up maybe next week, but for this weekend we are remaining nice and dry and also going to be very warm this weekend. So that is not good for our drought, but it will make for a nice weekend if you do have any outdoor plans. Today, highs in the mid 80s and still hanging out in the very upper 70s in the northern parts of the South Plains off the Caprock warmer, almost reaching 90 over there in Aspermont and Jaded. Here in Lubbock around 84 this afternoon with sunny skies. And as we head into tomorrow, temperatures looking a lot like today, still in the mid 80s, upper 70s for some areas of the South Plains. And then as we head into Saturday, temperatures do begin to increase. It's going to be about a 10-degree difference from Saturday's high and Friday's high. Lubbock 90 degrees Saturday at 3 p.m. and that's only going to get warmer off the Catwalk, 90s as well. Northern South Plains, are again in the upper 80s as well. So a warm day on Saturday. That's even going to continue as we head into Sunday. Tonight locally in Lubbock, low of 50. Tomorrow looking a lot like today, high of 84. South-southeast winds around 15 miles per hour. So take a look at our weekend. Like I said, warm and dry. Saturday high of 96. Sunday high of 98. Partly cloudy skies. Some areas of the South Plains could potentially see 100 degrees as well. So a warm Sunday, but then we do have a cool front moving in on Monday, bringing in some wind and cooler temperatures, of course, bringing our highs down to the 70s once again. Monday, high of 72. Tuesday, staying in the 70s with a high of 76. And then we are right back to the 90s on Wednesday and Thursday with sunny skies. Lows next week in the upper 40s and upper 50s. Monday, once again, that cool front bringing in some wind, so just keep an eye because that is going to increase our risk for fire danger across the South Plains as we are in a drought currently. So just keep that in mind as you go about your outdoor activities and keep an eye on the forecast. I'm Elizabeth, and it's back to you all.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The Texas Tech men's basketball team officially finished up their season after a run through March Madness, ending in the Elite Eight. The future of several members of the team is still uncertain, but a couple of big announcements this week is helping to stabilize the Red Raiders' future. On Tuesday, freshman guard Christian Anderson announced that he would be returning to the team for a second year. Anderson was a key piece in Texas Tech's surprising season, helping the team to reach 28 wins and make only their third ever appearance in the Elite Eight. Anderson was selected to the All-Big 12 freshman team after putting up 10.6 points per game and a tie for the lead in three-pointers at 71. Anderson was Texas Tech's best non-transfer player, joining the team last May. But Anderson's announcement was just the tip of the iceberg this week, after word spread that another Red Raider star would be back for the 2025-2026 season. Yesterday afternoon, sophomore J.T. Toppin officially decided to remain a Red Raider, securing the team's biggest star for one more year. Toppin earned 20 honors over the previous season, finishing out as both Big 12 Player and Newcomer of the Year, the first time anyone has earned both honors in a single season. He went on to be named an All-American player by the Associated Press, the Sporting News, and the NABC and USBWA. Toppin finished the season averaging 18.2 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game. Toppin's contributions were a huge part of Texas Tech exceeding expectations this year, after the team was picked to finish 8th in the conference by Big 12 coaches. At the end of their March Madness run, Tech was one of the only 2 Big 12 teams left in the NCAA tournament. Both Anderson's and Toppin's announcements appear to be tied to head coach Grant McCasland. McCasland is considered one of the hottest coaches in the country at the moment, and so far McCasland has remained committed to Texas Tech. Just last week, McCasland was reported to have quickly turned down an offer from Texas A&M to keep his job with the Red Raiders.
It's been a pretty slow week for Texas Tech athletics events this week. One of the only events since the weekend took place on the away diamond for the Red Raider baseball team. But once again, the odds were not in their favor. On Tuesday, Texas Tech took on New Mexico at Santa Ana Starfield in Albuquerque. The annual showdown between the cross-state rivals continued to showcase the team's weaknesses. New Mexico started off quick with a 2-run homer to start the game. After that, the Lobos went on to put 7 runs on the board before Texas Tech could get back on the field for the second inning. The Red Raiders didn't even get their first run until the 4th when Logan Hughes scored on a Robin Villanueva single. Tech's runs continued to come in slowly in the 5th, 7th, and 8th innings, but with New Mexico up 15-5 at the bottom of the 8th, the game finished due to the run rule. Red Raider baseball is back in town this weekend to face the Baylor Bears in a Big 12 matchup at Danlaw Field. The Red Raiders' 5-7 record in conference has them in a tie for 5th place with Houston. But Tech's overall record of 9-20 pales in comparison to the Bears' 21-11. The action starts tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. and continues through Sunday. If you aren't headed out to the ballpark, you can also watch on ESPN+.
The remainder of this week's Red Raider action starts off today on the tennis courts. The men's tennis team will take on number 13 ranked Baylor tonight at 6 p.m. in Waco. The women's team will follow tomorrow with a home matchup against Arizona State, starting at 5 p.m. Then tomorrow, one of the hottest teams here at Texas Tech, if not the nation, heads back to the Diamond. Red Raider softball is hoping to extend an 8-game winning streak as they meet up with Houston at Rocky Johnson Field. The number 14 ranked Red Raiders will start the 3-game series tomorrow at 6 p.m., followed by a 4 p.m. first pitch on Saturday and noon start on Sunday. If you're on campus, plan on heading over to cheer on the team, but if not, you can catch the action on ESPN+. And the Texas Tech track team will also be competing tomorrow and Saturday as they continue their outdoor schedule in College Station at the 44 Farms Team Invite. Members of the team will be in action throughout both days, and you can keep up with the latest results by visiting texastech.com.
So Elene, are you planning to head over to any of the sporting events here on campus this weekend?
I think I'm going to go to the baseball team game. What about you?
I think I'm going to go to the baseball game as well.
Great.
That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.